Welcome to UK Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yukai Kachidori.
Hello, it's Yokai Kajidori here, and on behalf of my business partner, Trevor Stockwell, and the amazing team here at World Outsourcing Solutions, want to welcome you to this special episode of Enlightened Entrepreneur. You can find us at worldoutsourcingsolutions.com, where we specialize in providing business owners from all walks of life with highly trained, highly skilled virtual assistants. We are the go-to center of all your outsourcing needs based here in the United Kingdom. Hello, it's Yokai Kajidori here, and once again, want to welcome you to another episode of Enlightened Entrepreneur. Today, my special guest, Derek Barnick, is a very special young man, only age 21, but doing exceptionally well when it comes to motivation. He is the CEO of the DNA Motivation. He is a certified life coach and has been in sales management for 3 years. Now, in 2015, Derek was interviewed for multiple articles. He has been seen on Hatchback and LinkedIn posts. He also serves as a consultant in an insurance firm. And most importantly, he is a young man who is going after his dreams, making a difference, and leading the way when it comes to executing strategies that he has been introduced to him. Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Excellent. Good to have you on the call here today, Derek. Now, to get us started, Derek, can you tell us about your journey into entrepreneurship?
My journey all began when I had the desire to help people succeed. Back when I was in high school and college and everything, I saw a lot of people fail, and I fully believe that it was because of motivation. And when I see people fail, I try to help them, and that's where I got my passion to start my own company, DNA Motivation.
Incredible. And we were talking earlier on about the personal experience you had of your mom, what that did to you, and made you want to do. Can you share with our listeners how, that experience?
Yeah, so growing up, my mom, she was a stay-at-home mom. She didn't have, she worked multiple jobs here and there, and she just couldn't really find her passion. And I saw it really eat away at her life, and it led to depression, drinking, and that's the sort of thing that I saw growing up, where I don't want to see anybody else have to face those problems. And that's where I really got into my company, DNA Motivation, helping people achieve their goals and dreams. It's not a good thing to see, and I hope that I never have to see anybody have to go through what she had to go through.
Incredible. And, when we were talking, you're talking about your goal is to empower young entrepreneurs. What do you mean by young entrepreneurs?
I think young entrepreneurs are the millennials, people around my age that want to start something but just don't have the focus and the tools to get where I'm at today. I like being able to help people my age learn different applicable tools, including WordPress and website design, that makes it easy for them and affordable too, because some people get hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans just to start a company, when you can really start a company for under $5,000 or less. Right. And that's what I want to be able to help young entrepreneurs do, is be able to teach them these really affordable tools and help them use those to accomplish their goals and dreams.
Incredible. And especially with your DNA Motivation company, a lot of people will be looking up to you to get that inspiration. Let's talk about how you actually got started in your company, running your company in 2015.
Yeah, so it was actually a pretty funny story. Is I was at my dad's office and I was talking to him. This was just after I left AT&T, and I was talking to him, Dad, I really want to start something myself. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start my own company. And my dad knows how to inspire me and get me a little bit fired up. And he said, "No, you can't do it. You can't do it." And he believes in me, but he's that kind of guy that knows what really pushes me to get going and do something. And he knows that when somebody says you can't do something, I get up and do it. So that same night, I drove home to about an hour to my friend's place, and I called him on the phone saying, "Hey man, I have a surprise for you." And he
Right.
gets home, and me and my business partner, I let him know that I'm starting a company. And it was just we probably stayed up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just super excited and passionate about building this company that's going to help people all over the world.
Incredible, incredible. It's so exciting, to start a company. And when you got started, what were the things that you had to, so to speak, overcome for you to actually go out there and make it happen?
A lot of the things that I had to overcome were the assumptions that a young person doesn't know enough to become an entrepreneur and doesn't know enough to start a business. And that was probably my hardest thing, is being told by older generations that it's going to be hard, and it is very hard. It's very difficult. But just having that negativity, that was probably the hardest thing. Money is also always the hardest thing, but being able to learn these tools and affordable tools to starting it helped out a lot to know that.
Yes, yes, yes. And how did you overcome that?
A lot of it was self-research. So I taught myself
Right,
a lot of. I used Google as a tool, typing in on YouTube how to create a website. When I first started the company, I had no idea how to make a website. I didn't know anything about coding.
right.
I didn't know anything about website design, marketing, anything like that. And just being able to use Google and YouTube as a resource to watch and learn from other people to
Right.
create this great company that I have currently.
Incredible, incredible, incredible. Love to hear how that sounds. So, if you were talking to a young entrepreneur, somebody who's aspiring to step out and to do what they feel is right for them, what would be your words of wisdom in this matter?
If I had to, well, let's say I had to tell myself, because I'm my best friend as well. If I had to tell my best friend that wanted to start a company, I would definitely say make sure you pick your business partner right, if you pick one at all. There's a lot of, you have to, once you pick your business partner, you're pretty much almost marrying them in a
Right,
sense. You have
right,
to make sure you think about it. I know my business partner, um, we get into arguments and everything about some stuff, and I just want to make sure you pick the right business partner. Another thing is, being a young entrepreneur, you have to know what you're getting into. It's a lot of work. It's very difficult. You're going to be told that you can't do it. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to teach yourself. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done, and it still is. And that's something that I want a young entrepreneur to know, that by getting into this, you need to know what you're going to have to face.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that I use in identifying business partners is they aligned with what I'm trying to do.
Yes.
And can I communicate with them, and do they have sort of similar values to what I'm trying to do, and also do they complement my skill? Because you don't want somebody who had the same skill as you have. You want somebody complement your main skill. So one of the things I tell my coaching clients is, before you actually venture into anything that you want to do, do a self-analysis first. Know your skills, know what you're good at, and then look at what you're not good at. Use that as a guiding tool to find a partner that you can work with for a very long time.
I completely agree.
Yes. Now, you mentioned to me earlier on that while you were pursuing your dream of establishing a DNA motivation, you had two other jobs that you were doing. How did you manage that?
It's very, very difficult. Yeah, so I work 9 to 5. I wake up, work 9 to 5, and then I have an evening job too. And being able to work everything into my day is a lot of just being proactive with your time management, knowing exactly what you need to get done every day. And it's a lot of hours. I mean, I put in a lot of hours in my work to be able to afford more advertising and more paying out and getting more stuff like that. And it's difficult. That's what I'm saying, where young entrepreneurs need to know that you're going to have to work a lot. That's why I do work 2 jobs, and I'm currently working on building my company.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what I really like about Derek here is the fact that he put himself out there for any young entrepreneurs here. When you're getting started, don't expect things to fall on your lap and then start working out. You have to go out there, because at the beginning you may not get, enough incomes from your project, but you still need to live. And here, Derek is a very good example of an entrepreneur who's going somewhere and who is doing something already. You start, on working on your project, work on it part time, and get another part time working, because you're still going to learn some skills, how to communicate with all levels of people, management level, those who are under you, and those who are on the same level as you. And you need all these skills when you are running your own organization. And I cannot think the best way of doing other than, what Derek is doing right now.
Thank you.
Yes. Derek, talk to me about, how you got your first client when you stepped out in your business.
Well, funny story, actually. I've learned that family can be the worst or the best.
Right.
They love you no matter what. And stepping out into my first client, I went to family.
Right.
Reason being is my family, they want to see me succeed, and what better place to go and talk and get the practice you need to go out to the more people and expand than first starting with your family, getting that practice, talking to them and working with them. I am definitely a full believer that you should start with family and then go from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I did when I got started in business, those closest to me, well, for me, it wasn't my immediate family, but those who were close to me. And I say, look, this is what I'm trying to do. And they say, I can give you a benefit of doubt. If it doesn't work, we will know. And from there, I had a testimonial. And it is that testimonial which you can then use to convince others and say, look, I've managed to do this and that and this for this person, and they're happy. And if people say, "Oh, my family won't do anything; they won't jump onto it." Yes, not everyone is going to jump at it. Here's how you go to them. You say, "Like, who do you know that can benefit from what I'm doing?" Your family, they will be happy to recommend somebody if they don't want to be the guinea pig. They will recommend their friend, and when they recommend their friend, they won't say it's it's never done it for anyone else, because they don't want to put you down. They're going to say, oh, it's my brother, or it's my cousin who's doing this, and their friends get, oh, if it is your brother, I'm going to give them a trust. And again, you get that referral thing going, and that's how you spread. Take, for example, when we started outsourcing here, an outsourcing company. Now we've got clients in Australia, in the US, here in the UK, and of course in Zimbabwe. This is how we enter new nations. We find the people that we already know, and I say, look, I run an outsourcing company. Who else do you know that is overwhelmed with the level of work they need to do? And I'm happy to give you $50, for just connecting us. And they say, oh, really? Absolutely, we will do that. And then they recommend their friends, and they recommend their friends, recommend another friend. And before long, you've got 6, 7, 8 clients, and the thing will snowball from there. Let's talk about, how do you find it working from home, on your project?
I love the experience from working from home. There's definitely pros and cons from it.
Right.
A lot of pros are the freedom, being able to work whenever you want, wherever you want. That's one of the best freedoms. I could be at a beach working. I could be in my office working. I would love to be at a beach right now because it's cold in Minnesota right now. But there's also some cons. Some cons would be that if you're working at home, there's a lot of distractions.
Right.
A lot of distractions. And I would definitely say that working from home can definitely be, it can be very difficult if you don't have that direction, focus, and motivation to get where you want to be. So you got to be very careful. If you notice when you're working at home, you start playing video games or watching TV or just getting distracted, you might have to find a different place to do your work from home.
Absolutely. One of the things I did when I started in working from home was to have a designated area where you focus and tell everyone that when I'm here, I'm in the office, guys, do not come in here, or do not interrupt. At first, they will come in, and you just have to put your foot down and say, look, there's a whole lot of other time that we can do this. Now is not the time to do that. It will pay off because people begin to respect you, because no one does anything that you do not permit them. I had a proverb that goes something like, you give people the permission to do what they want. No one will make you do anything. So just be decisive, decide on the time you want to start working, and decide on the place you want to work in, and focus. Because when you do this so well, everyone's going to be happy. Even the people that want to disturb you will also be very happy.
That's very good.
Yes. Let's talk about the initial steps that you took for somebody who is looking into starting their own company and working for themselves. What did you do, Derek, to get that thing going?
So initial steps of starting your own company. Now, starting your own company can be there's a ton of different steps that you can take to start your own company, but a couple ones that I would almost guarantee is that you have to get a website in today's age. A website is a number one step. A lot of people will end up seeing it. My company is majority online, so I definitely needed one. So getting a website, and there's certain steps and tools you can use for that, including WordPress.com. WordPress, I used HostGator.com for my domain. So that's what I would suggest to do for getting a website. Logo, we got a logo right off the bat. You don't necessarily need a logo. You can start with something else, but if you feel that you have the extra money to get a logo and you know what you want your company to stand behind, because the logo and your brand are very important, you can get a logo. Knowing the biggest thing in starting a business, you have to know your target market and what you really stand for. I wouldn't suggest starting a business unless you know what you're going to stand for, because that's going to cause a lot of headache in the future if you don't have a definitive business plan and where you're going to be targeting and stuff like that. And I'm talking from past experience where I necessarily didn't have that, and I wish I would have. So
incredible. And one of the things that I mentioned to people who are looking to start up, just to add on what Derek is talking about here, is work on your mind. Having a desire to achieve something is very good. You are halfway there. But for you to actually speed the process of achieving that goal, the first thing you need to do is work on your mind. Once you have the transformation of your mind, all these strategies, the marketing strategies, they will fall in place. There's so many strategies out there that most of them work, but not so many people experience the effectiveness of those strategies because their mind has not been renewed. Okay, what do I mean by that? Very simple. If you're starting out, you need to know that it's okay to succeed. It's okay to be wealthy. It's okay for you to, to do extremely well. Once you are comfortable with that thought, when you're actually going to execute a strategy, you will execute that with absolute certainty, with great faith that you're going to make it happen. So that's one area. You get to know that failure is part of the game. If you don't fail in the business, you're certainly doing something wrong. because all successful entrepreneurs have failed. In fact, they've failed far more than the people who have succeeded that have given up. Because the people who give up, they don't have the opportunity to fail. The only way you can identify whether you're living or not is you have the opportunity to fail. The people that don't fail are in graves. They've gone. But as long as you're alive today, you have more opportunity for failing, and it's normal. Once you have that mind shift, and then you go into business with that understanding, I'm generalizing here, and there are many other aspects here that you need to consider. But generally, when you have all that understanding, and you're very clear on that, it's pattern process of this. There are no guarantees in all this, but you're following your heart, to do what you think is right, is good. You are going to experience tremendous success, and it's a joy to do that. Let's talk about how you market your business right now. Derek, the DNA motivation. What do you do?
Yep. So a lot of my marketing has been social media wise, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Those have been some of the biggest ones, mainly because they're free. And if you're a bootstrap startup, you need to find the cheap ways of marketing and cheap ways of advertising. So I would highly suggest getting on social media because it's really endless, and you can reach so many people on those platforms. It's difficult, but once you create something, it will keep expanding and expanding and expanding. I also use different services like Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com is a great way to purchase cheap ways of marketing online. I've been able to be hosted in blog mentions by multiple people on great websites, and it also allows me the opportunity to learn different things. Another great way is Haro.com, or Help a Reporter Out. That's actually how me and Yukai actually met, was on Haro at helpareporterout.com, and it's been a great opportunity to reach people through that as well.
Incredible. You're talking about social media. Do you have a particular strategy you use to reach potential customers?
A lot of it is using a strategy of some of the best social media sites out there. When I see a social media that has exploded, I try to use some of their strategies on my social media pages to increase engagement on my social media. Now, when you're creating people, when you create your social media, you want to talk to people in a personal way and get engagement with people on social media sites. They're not on there just to see a bunch of advertising. I think everybody can agree that they go on social media to socialize, not see advertisements. So when you make your social media engage with your clients, engage with the people on your social media, and that's where you get success on social media.
Incredible. Yeah, just to wrap up here, Derek, I've got a question for you. But you've been doing your business now for a while, and what sort of things that somebody who is starting out can do to stay on top of the problems or the challenges, and stay in the game?
Lots of self-improvement. Like you said earlier before, make sure you're reading a lot of books, research online, find new tools, and you want to be there's always going to be somebody that you're competing with. You want to always try and focus on being ahead of them. And if you want to be ahead of them, you really have to do your studying and research and make sure you're improving to be ahead of them.
Right. Yeah, incredible. And one of the things I do personally to stay ahead of the pack and stay motivated is to recall the reason why I'm in business. Look, for example, in my outsourcing business, one of the reasons I got in there was to help entrepreneurs to increase their productivity. As you probably know this already, Derek, here, and many listeners here, that because of the pressure we have here in West, especially here in London where I am, so many things demanding your attention to the point that you end up not being very productive in your own company. So I wanted to give business owners a strategy that enables them to increase their productivity in less time with less stress. And of course, that's through the use of virtual assistants who are there, at an affordable price. And I also know that business owners are constantly looking for ways to increase their business leads. And I thought, okay, if they are looking for that, how can we do that? And again, it was the same solution through the use of virtual assistant or virtual services. And we know that all businesses are constantly looking for ways to increase revenue. And again, outsourcing enables business owners to do that. So when things get tough, I remind myself the reasons why I got into the business in the first place. And when I remember those reasons why, when it gets tough, I will still get some energy from somewhere and try one more time. Because if I don't, a lot of businesses are going to close down, like many startups, because they don't have, large cash at their disposal. So, with our services, the one I provide, they can thrive, and who knows, they become an outstanding company in the few years to come. Just to wrap up the call here, Derek, what is your final word to the listeners or the people who are getting started in business?
I wish you the best. I really hope that there's more entrepreneurs out in this. If you need any help with motivation, accountability, one of the biggest things that I see a lot of people fail, like you said, is just staying for your dreams and goals and having that focus. It can be tough. So to have somebody be there on your side, hey, you need to get this done, or just being there as a support system, it can very much help. And that's what DNA Motivation stands for.
Absolutely. So one of the things I like about you, Derek, and why I got you on the show today is your willingness to put yourself out there. It's the same skill which all entrepreneurs have. If you don't put yourself out there, as for my listeners, you never know what you need to, what you can do, what you're capable of doing. So put yourself out there and stay motivated. And if you want to get in touch with Derek here, he's going to give you his contact details, and he will show you how you can stay motivated. He's a young man, great future ahead, and already identified the niche market he's going to go for. And if you are that one of young entrepreneurs, any entrepreneurs for that matter, want to learn more about motivation, Derek is the person to go to. How can they get in touch with you, Derek?
You can get in touch with me through LinkedIn by typing in Derek J. Barnick on LinkedIn. I also love getting more people on my Facebook, so feel free to reach out on my Facebook or Twitter at DJ Barnick, Barnick. Other ways of reaching out to me, feel free to check out my website. We have a feedback, we have contact information. So if you go to dnamotivation.com, feel free to go and send me an email at support@dnamotivation.com. Just to reiterate what you were saying, you do have to get out there. Being the biggest step is, I can completely say I was very nervous to first start talking, to get on this interview, and it's just getting out there and pushing through that nervousness and those fears. And that's something that I want to help people get through, and that's why I made, like I said, DNA Motivation, is to get past those fears and get motivated. So best of luck to you.
Incredible. Once again, thank you so much, Derek, for spending time with us here today. And for our listeners, thank you for taking time to learn. Here's the final word I have for you. Learning alone is not enough. You begin to get a blast when you implement what you are learning and change your life. Life is not going to change just because you listen to Derek share some wonderful truth. If it was like that, a lot of people's lives would have been changed. The real change, the real transformation comes when you implement the strategies that Derek has done. And hearing inspirational stories of young people, who are taking life head on, still working in another job, learning some good key skills, and at the same time pursuing goals. That's what it's all about. Go implement what you've been learning today and make sure when you get on the floor, don't stay on the floor. You will be knocked down because that's what life is all about. But don't stay there too long. You have the capability of getting yourself up again and keep moving forward. Here's the reality. If you're down, at some point you're going to get up anyway. If I was in your shoes, I might as well get up as soon as I can. The longer you stay down, the harder it becomes for you to get up. The harder it becomes for you to transition and be on your feet again. So when you fall, when you get knocked, you need motivation. Derek is here to give you some motivation tips. Or you can call us or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com, and we can see what we can do to help you. Our goal here at World Outsourcing Solutions, and with many of my clients and many of my friends, including Derek, are here to help you so that you get to your goals faster. Once again, thank you for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you in another episode of Enlightened Entrepreneur. Once again, thanks, Derek, for being here with me. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Yukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.